Welcome to the Don't Die Rusty podcast. We're making memories, chasing dreams, being the best you, and living your best life is what Don't Die Rusty's all about. And I am excited about this next episode of the Don't Die Rusty podcast. My guest, Emily Hawgood, is a good friend of the Don't Die Rusty podcast, but I went out to Western States last June, and we haven't had a chance to recap, or I haven't got to talk in depth with Emily about such things, but we had a conversation about one of the things that impacted my life in her race, actually. And that was, I know Emily is one of the best people in the whole wide world. She is just a great person, but in the race, I was standing beside her dad, and she came into the finish line, and before she finished, she gave us high fives and turned around and came back and gave her dad a big hug. And that impacted me. And it just not that day, but I think about that. I bet I think about it about every day. It was how that impacted me watching her give her hug to her dad. Because, she'd ran 100 miles and those things, you know, you're putting one foot in front of the other just to get to the finish line, and to have that in you to turn around and to give your dad a hug. That was a big deal. I mean, I watched her run in with the whole team, and to be able to hang out with her family, with her coach, Paul, and with everybody else. It hit me. So Christine and Stoff, you have a great daughter, and Paul, what a wonderful person to be around, and actually the whole team. I don't want to leave anybody out, but that was a great experience for me, and it has impacted me to know that stop, take the time. She's a world-class athlete in a world-class event, and it was within her to stop, turn around, go give her dad a hug, and go finish the race. And I hope you enjoy this next episode of the Don't Die Rusty podcast as much as I did, because it just means a lot to me anyway. And if you like it, please share, please review, and please subscribe to the Don't Die Rusty podcast. That helps out a ton. And as usual, just keep chasing your dreams, being the best you. Don't die rusty. And listen to the next episode of the Don't Die Rusty podcast with Emily Hawgood. Well, hello, Don't Die Rusty Nation. This has been quite an episode to try to get, because we've had a little technical difficulty the last one, but I'm lucky enough to chat with Emily Hawgood again. It will be a great conversation because it was last time. Now it'll even be better, so I can go back over the things I talked about. So Emily is a friend of Don't Die Rusty. I got to go watch her run at Western States. She's not just a world-class athlete, she's a world-class person, and I am lucky to call her friend. So thank you for being on, Emily.
Yeah, morning, Rick. Thank you so much for having me. Excited to be back again.
well, and I felt bad calling you and texting you and saying, "Hey, Emily, I don't want to bother you, but we had a bad episode, and it just technically, and you knew that because we were freezing up here and there, and it was one of those things. But I feel lucky to be able to talk to you again, and now I can talk to you about, like, you go. It's funny when you do I don't know if you do, but when I do a podcast and I go over and I said, I wish I would have said that. I wish I
Yeah,
would have done this
cool.
or that. And now I get to go back and do it all over
Perfect.
again.
Yeah,
So,
that'll be awesome.
and you know what? You got me out of the cold. It's -7 degrees Fahrenheit here, and it'll be fun talking to you. Uh,
Perfect.
because Western States was warm, so I can go back to that time.
That's true.
So,
It was very warm. Nice time to think about.
you know, I, I want to recap Western States because we never got to do that with you and Paul, and I want to I want to tell you guys, I flew in, not you. We did 2 episodes, I think, and we social media and we'd text back and forth and this and that, but we never met in person. And I fly in, I it's funny because when I was on, I was talking to people that were going to Western States or helping at Western States as I fly in because, I really don't have a problem talking to people in most situations. But I drive up to Olympic Valley, and I get there and I have to go to the bathroom. And this is a funny deal. And I meet this, I'm just walking through looking for a bathroom, and this girl said, I know where they are. So she took me right to the bathroom, and that was good. But when I got out, I called Paul then, and I said, hey, um, I said, where are you at? And they were right across at that place at having a beer and having lunch. And I walk in there, and your mom and dad were the most amazing and gracious people. Paul was too, but you know, it was like we were long lost friends. It was like we have not skipped a beat. And it was just amazing. And I look at your mom and dad and I look at you and I go, I know where you get your wonderful personality from because they are such wonderful people.
Thank you. Yeah, feel very lucky to have them, and yeah, they're the best.
When you go into something and you don't know what's about to happen, and well, we'll get to the race here, but in that starts off a long weekend very, very well when you just feel like you're part of something. So that was really good. And then Paul took me to the top and showed me the flags and everything at the top of the mountain and gave me the history of the race and gave me, we talked a little bit about you and, you know, it was so interesting. And then that night, I'm kind of skipping around here, but that night it was so nice because I was there, and when Paul said, "Do you want me to talk?" and you were like, "No, I'm going to talk," and this is how it is, and that was very, very cool because you have a team that is amazing in the fact that they know you or know how you like things so well that you don't need to really think except for running. How do I feel? What's going on with my body? This is my perception because as much as I try to stay out of your way and stuff, because I don't know exactly what's going on. This is my first endurance race, and then I'm like that, and then I'm with a world class athlete, and I don't. Like I said, I don't want to have you stumbling over my feet and spraining an ankle, and then everybody looks at Rick and points at him. But you made me feel like part of the team that night, and you don't know, you might know, but I don't think you do because I know, but you're mentally getting ready for the race, I should say.
Mhm.
But you made me feel part of the team, and that got me like really emotional inside in the fact that not knowing me except for a few episodes we've done, and I know I'm talking a lot here, people, but I'm trying to get a base here. But not knowing, this is the kind of person she is. Not knowing me, I get there probably 6 hours later. We have a meeting with Emily, and she says, "You're part of the team, Rick. You know that, more or less." And I watch everybody else is telling you what to do and this and that, and I just get to like, I was like a sponge. I'll tell you that, just taking this all in, and I thank you for that.
Yeah, Western States is such a special race. Like I always talk about how it's the one race kind of in the world where you get to not just think about yourself, but think about your team. Like you get to have a full team. You get to have as many people as you need at the aid stations, and you end up having two crews if you can, and having paces out there. And it's a whole team effort. Like for once it's not just about you and you getting from point A to point B. It's, getting people to stay up in Olympic Valley and then sorting accommodation for everyone staying in Roseville or in Auburn at the finish. And I love that part. I don't want to like bring anyone into that doesn't feel like they belong there.
Well, you truly made me feel like I belong there, and I thank you for that one.
Echoing.
So that was very, very cool. And then I go into, geez, now I can't, I go in, where did I stay? Truckee. I stay in
Yep.
Truckee and I met some cool people and and it was fun because Friday morning I didn't have to really do anything. So then I got to go around, Lake Tahoe and I just went and jumped in the lake for that morning and got to meet, and I met a few people. But then I went and we had that little circle of chairs ready for you guys athletes as they had the athlete meeting. And your team, uh, that could be, mm, I'd say, you see a lot of different athletes that are probably not as humble as they could be, we'll just say. But your team was very, very humble. You have great athletes. You have, you have, Dan was third, correct?
Fourth.
Fourth. And then you have a winner on there. And then how many of your team placed in the top 10? I think three,
Everyone.
four. Everyone. Yeah. So I mean that's amazing. And but you guys could be what I'm saying is you guys could be like we're the you know what and you were humble and I'll stand. No, you won't stand. I'm sitting here just taking up space. You guys were what I'm getting at is I didn't know what to expect. I knew you were nice, but everybody was nice, and that was very, very cool to see world-class athletes that are humble and but still have their vision of what they want to do in a race.
Hmm. Yeah, I mean, it's such a special group. I think that's what's amazing about Terex is that I've always been blessed to know that everyone makes up the team. Like, they're all individual people that come together to create this team that isn't just about wearing the same gear and running, the same races. We're like meant to be there for so much more than just performing. And the team has always felt like a special place to be there, be a part of, because they are humans, like you said. Like everyone respects everybody and is humble and kind and realizes like this is our passion, this is what we get to do. And it's kind of fun. We get a built-in family, which makes it really, really amazing. Well, amazing, and at the races and stuff like that shines there, but it shines even more, at like team camps and things like that, where we get to just spend time together and just get to be human together.
Yep. Because this is also very, very interesting because, like I said, I'm kind of like 30 feet up above everybody. And I'm just I'm visioning stuff. You know what I
Hmm.
mean?
Yeah.
And watching your mom, like she's like the nervous racer.
Yes.
Like you may be running the race, but she is running the race right
Right.
alongside you.
Yep.
and,
Very true.
and that was so fun to watch that. You
Hmm.
know what I mean?
Yep.
And and I I loved watching her take, organizing things and doing that kind of stuff. That was just fun to see. I'll get to the start of the race. I sent you that picture, I think, of your mom and you hugging. I
Hmm.
didn't see the Paul thing because I'm all looking around all over when you and Paul were talking. But
Yeah.
I felt so lucky to be standing there at the start line with Paul, with the start, watching you. I've never been like so close to such a cool event and such things. And I know this isn't about me, but it's about you in this aspect, but I'm watching you get ready, prepared for this race. And I didn't, this is the fun part about this thing because I didn't know that this is like a NASCAR thing. Not just you, and not
No.
just and not just where the aid stations. It's Paul shot the gun. We took off running, and we're getting
Yeah.
in the cars, and we're beating feet down to wherever I'm going to park. I parked at the Rucky Chucky parking lot kind of thing. Paul, I jump in with Paul. We're going here and there, and and it's not just us. It's everybody's kind of scrambles in, and
Hmm.
I I've never seen a parking lot like dissipate so fast in my whole life.
Yeah, and that one was packed.
so so we take off on the race, and this is interesting too because like you have two aid station crews going on,
Hmm.
and I don't know, I mean, I like I showed you with the cup. Now I know, I mean, I can remember all the aid stations, but Paul and I, we were at where were we? Was that is Duncan Canyon the first one? That's where you came running in, right? So
Right.
we're at Duncan Canyon. This says a lot about you two. I'm not. This isn't about making Emily just like get an ego here, but I'm telling you things like. So we roll up there, and I don't, I'm trying to stay out of the way, and in I'm talking to people, and we're waiting for you to get in, and Paul's introducing me to people, and this girl comes up to me and says, "Who are you cheering on?" I said, "Emily Hawgood. I'm just sitting here waiting. And this and that, and that's her coach, and Cody was over there, and stuff like that." And it was interesting because she said she said she's my favorite athlete, and I get to watch her run in Auburn, and because she must run around the track, and she's like, that was cool to hear, like she just stood there and talked to me about you. I said, I've only been personally with Emily for like 2 days now, and I mean, and 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 it's interesting that it just makes you feel good. You don't hear a lot of people ever really say like you're my favorite athlete, not just because you're an athlete, but because you're a good person.
Thank you.
So what do you do? You must train then in Auburn on the track then at every once in a while and stuff like that.
Yeah, every once in a while on the track in Auburn, and then obviously most of the trails are up there that we have access to before the race, and yeah, so spend a lot of time out there. It's amazing. I mean, getting to meet so many incredible people out there for sure. This world is full of good people, and taking the time to say hi or chat with someone, especially someone on the track. I think the girl you met had been working out on the track, and I get to chat with her. If Paul's out there, he's really good at chatting too, and so that you break this barrier and like get to know people really well, just because you love to do something that they love to do too, and being out there together is kind of fun. Like you're not ever on your own, which is really, really amazing.
It is, and I mean, I bet it is to see that, I should say, because i this isn't going to be the first time I talk about this kind of thing happening either. And but that was an interesting. It was a cool aid station, but it's tight. That first
Yeah.
aid station is very very tight. And somebody fell
Yes.
down the hill when it was a guy fell down the hill when they were going off. You got to the aid station, and people if people don't know, then you guys like drop just about, and that's I'm going. It's like little rocks and like loose dirt, and I was surprised watching that there wasn't more wrecks there while I was there. You
Yeah,
know what I
well,
mean?
that's good because we're early on in the race. So I'm
Yeah.
glad there weren't that many wrecks.
No, but I saw one guy hit the ground, pop back up, and he took off running. And but
Mhm.
that was very very cool. And then so Paul and I jump in the run back to the vehicle, jump in, and we take off. And then we get to the next aid station, and it's this is also funny because we have the link so we can watch how the racers are doing, and this is
Yep. Hmm.
it's just amazing to be able to watch where you're at roughly and how this and that and how other racers are doing, and it's like it, it's 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 exciting. It's exciting to hear this stuff,
Hmm.
and because we have that on our phones, like I said,
Hmm.
and watching it in Cody's vehicle, like they had it on the computer, and then we go down there, and this is a fun thing because this is the first I got to stand behind and be very closer to the situation, because and Paul's standing there waiting, and I got a few pictures of Paul waiting for you to come into the
Hmm.
aid station, and I like watching the nervous coach. Just you can see he's strategizing. He's how to talk to you, and he's alone. And this is what I like too. Like I said, I get to stand back and watch people. I love watching people. And I'm watching one of your competitors. They're changing socks, and I'm going, how, you know what I mean, and doing this and that, and taking time. And you're in and out. When you came in, I mean, you're talking, and and you're getting what you need. And I think I had the stuff ready for you for drinking wise this time. And then you're in and out. Paul's talking to you. It's like this is amazing stuff. And then you take off, and Paul starts running with you, and we have to call him back because he can't. I can't. The rules
Yep.
too. The rules part. Like you can. There's that line you can't cross.
Yep.
That you're done. You know what I mean? These kind of things amaze me because I didn't know this stuff. But what kind? By that time, but I think that's last chance. I think it was where was that is that where you kind of come into a triangle? I think, or am I
Dusty
wrong?
corners.
Dusty corners. Well, it's not on my cup, so there we go. And it
It's
was
okay.
dusty like that. And people out there, it really was dusty.
Yeah,
but
it's true. It's a good name.
and then I'm looking at you. I'm saying I'm looking at your uh, your toughness of going, and that is amazing. And I like the strategy. Like I didn't know that stuff. Like, do people know that they're changed? Like as an athlete, I'm watching, but like other athletes are changing their shoes or socks, and I asked Paul about that. And I said, and then I asked you about it actually, I think later. And I said, like, you have that comfortable shoes. You put on another pair of shoes, and you start getting a hot spot or a blister, you just screwed up.
Hmm. Yeah.
And so, what makes you decide? Is it that you might change shoes, or what kind of things to drink or eat? Just what sounds good that at that point.
Um, yeah, it's a learning curve. I mean, the biggest learning curve for endurance athletes is figuring out their stomachs and fueling. Um, I I'm a few years into the sport now, and I still
Yeah.
feel like I'm figuring stuff out. But a lot of it is done in training where you learn like what your body can handle. At that point in the race, it's still early enough that you usually you usually know what you're gonna need and want and feel like. It's later on in the race where maybe you have a few more options because you don't know at that point if you're going to be craving something salty, if you're going to be really hungry, if you need something solid or soup or things like that. So having the options is always good. Um, but yeah, in training, I mean, you train past that. I think it's just past 30 miles in at Dusty. So, you're still early days, and you know what you're going to eat there, you know what you're going to need. But obviously for me, like I had, some sodium issues early on in the day. So at Dusty Corners, I'm, running in, shouting at my crew, like, for more salt type situation.
Yep.
And just making sure you have those things on hand so that everyone knows how to, what you need to, and what to have ready maybe at the next aid station as well. Yeah, so it's a part of the puzzle. I love endurance sports because it is so much a part of the puzzle. There's so many different areas you can be as trained and fit as you can be, and if your stomach screws up really badly, then you have a really tough day. So yeah,
You know,
it's a game plan. But with your shoes, that's a good question because I've tried those options too, like forcing myself to change my shoes at certain points, those sort of things. And the conclusion I've come to is that if your feet are good, don't touch them, because the more you touch them, the more you want to touch them.
I believe that.
Yeah.
It's kind of like a scab on your leg or wherever, because
Mhm.
you just once you start picking your scab, you just keep on
Yep.
picking that scab. But here's another one, and I did because I would think, I've had five-toed socks myself, but your feet are sweaty. You're trying to get in and out as fast as you can, and putting on a five-toed sock
Mm-hmm.
would take time compared to putting on a regular sock. So that kind of changing stuff would scare me. I might take off my shoes for a second just to let them cool off or something. I don't know about this stuff, but I don't think I'd want to change stuff because I want to just keep on get going down the road. You know what I mean? So,
Yep.
so, so yeah, and then it's funny because, like I said, we're in contact with the other aid stations, your other crew. Paul and I take off, and then we get up to it's Michigan Flats, Michigan Bluff.
Michigan
That's
Bluff.
where the party is, right? Well, it'd be
Yep.
actually, isn't it? Well, yeah, Michigan Bluff. We get up there, and then I meet Paul's brother,
Yep.
and he's
Kurt.
giving me crap right away. Kurt just
Good,
is
good.
just it was funny because he says stay lubricated. I was going, what the heck are you talking about? Don't die rusty. Stay lubricated. And that was
Yep.
fun. That was fun, and it was fun to get to know Kurt then because this is a big party, people. This is like I've never ever seen so many people that are cheering other people on in this race. And there's only 367 racers, isn't there? Or 27, something like that. Anyway,
Yep,
and
67.
and this whole everybody is cheering for everybody. This is
Mm-hmm.
cool. So you come in and find, and that's when we caught up with your mom and dad and the other team, and and that was so fun to chat and to get to now I'm kind of seeing what's going on, and and it's so fun because then I just sit there and chat with your dad a little bit more. He's sitting just I've never seen such calm people in that situation, and except for your mom, she's nervous waiting for you to come in
Yeah.
there. but but it was fun. We got to sit there, you come in, we take off, and we go down to Forest Hill,
Mm-hmm.
and that's where I'm going to trade off, and Paul's going to other places, and that's where I jump in, and I'm at Forest Hill, and I was at the meeting on Thursday night, and I heard the sternness in the voice of the banana needs to be peeled,
Yep.
and and you want to have it ready, but you don't want to have it too early. This is like stressing me out. And your mom says Rick's giving her the banana, and I'm going, oh my God! And then they say because we're getting different things like you're coming in, and I peeled the banana and it broke, and I'm standing there like, oh crap! Do we have another banana? Because I don't want this to break. And you come in and you ate it, but I'm just saying, oh my God, I feel so terrible. The stress is like my heart is pumping, and it's funny because my wife Cindy she's because I'm there, she's watching this, and she's on social media, and the picture comes out of I'm holding this banana. That's probably my problem because I was holding it so tight that I didn't want to break it or whatever. Don't want to screw up. But you're feeling like, oh, I'm going to screw up, but I didn't. And then, so we hop in from there and go to Rucky Chucky. And this is where I'm in with this is so fun because uh, your dad and I we get there and we have to stand in line because they have to take a freaking bus down and all this stuff. And your dad and I are in line talking, and your mom and the whole other crew. But we get on the bus, or it's a little bus. We get on the bus and because we're going. It's taking a long time. We got a racer. We got to get down there, kind of thing. And we're standing in line and we start talking and get to be friends with people. Like I bet it's 20 minutes at least or a half hour we had to wait. But we get on the bus, and by the time we get down to the bottom of Rucky Chucky, your dad and I had everybody on the bus cheering for Emily Hawgood. And this is where I come back to where I said, because I had two young cross country runners behind us, two girls,
Mm.
and they were enamored that I'm like your dad's sitting right in front of them, kind of thing. And that's Emily's dad. Yeah, and we love Emily and this and that. And I think they were from Auburn too. They were racing. They're running. I think they're running NAI in the eastern part of the United States, but they grew up in California. But they're running NAI cross country. And we met. He used to be a former police officer and his wife, and we met just a bunch of like a few other people. And we get down to Rucky Chucky, and we're waiting for you to come in. I know this is funny. I'm telling you your race, even though I didn't run it. But I'm giving you some.
Great.
But
Yeah, you're giving me inside info.
yes, but we're waiting for you to come in, and your mom is going back and forth, just nervous, and it's just fun to watch because the caring and the thought of where is Emily. Like, we know you're still in the top 10. We don't know what's happening between aid stations,
Mm-hmm.
And I got to watch some other people, some guys go. Is Rucky Chucky where you get your first pacer, or you had a pacer before then?
At Forest Hills,
At
where we
Forest
get
Hills
off
is
this.
where you get your first pacer. So we're watching that stuff, and then you finally come in, and we're cheering, and things are going good there, and you go and you put your banana in your pocket, and then and it's amazing to me. The thing that's amazing to me is how you can go take your rope. They make you hold onto the rope.
That's why
And,
the banana had to go in the
I
pocket.
know. but they make you hold onto the rope, and then you dunk yourself, and I'm going, to me that is the toughest thing, because you dunked yourself under, not that you wouldn't, because it's probably cleaning off the salt that's building up in spots that you don't want salt to build up anyway, but you get out soaking wet and you're running to the next place. I mean, you've been wet
All day.
since
Mm-hmm.
all day anyway, but that's just
Yeah.
amazing to me that you get out, your shoes are wet. I mean, I understand, you know what I mean. That's an amazing
Yeah.
thing to see. And I stay there. Here's one thing I have a problem with at the Rucky Chucky,
Okay.
and I'm just a spectator. But I can't remember who it was, because we sat there. Your dad and I then sat there and waited for a while,
Mm-hmm.
and I can't remember who it was, but they came in and they had to go to the bathroom,
Mm.
and they should have an athlete bathroom there because the door was locked.
Oh no.
Yes, and luckily the other bathroom was open. But
Okay.
I'm just saying, from my perspective, I'm not even an athlete, but if they have to have an athlete bathroom, I would think, just
Yeah.
so that does not happen again. Because I was feeling bad for that person.
Yeah, for
Because
sure.
and at that time, you can tell me if I'm wrong, but at that time, like it's just put one foot in front of the other. Because it's like she was just like out of it. It's like, and then when the bathroom was like this, like oh my gosh, I just think that you got to have an athlete bathroom for that you know what I mean.
Yeah.
So then I'm this is fun. We get up to the deal to the parking lot, and then your mom and the others go to the other part, and your dad and I get to have a. If your dad wouldn't have been with me, I would have probably ended up in Sacramento. We'll just say that. We we put on Google Maps, and I'm trying to get to Auburn and I put in and something went wrong, and I'm going to the wrong place, and your dad said, "I think we're going the wrong place, Rick." And I said, "Well, okay." And then we redirected, and he got me going to the right place, and that was so
Yep.
fun because it was like, I mean, I grew up on a ranch farm in South Dakota, and your dad being in Zimbabwe doing the same stuff. And it was just such a fun, cool conversation we were having, and your dad's so polite, like, and it was just so fun just having the conversation as we went into Auburn. And I pull into Auburn, and here's another deal. It's fun because I did not realize how big this thing was. And and the place is packed. And your dad and I park. I dropped off your dad. I found a place to park, and then I went and found your dad. And you can't miss us because we have orange Adidas Terex shirts on,
Perfect.
so you can
Yeah.
you can see us in the crowd. And your dad and I are sitting there, and we got some drinks. Yeah, get free drinks. And it's just so cool how this is and the drums going on and all kinds of things happening. The cool thing is, so your dad and I got to sit and watch finishers, and we got to watch people come in, and we're getting updates about you. And here you're coming in, and we cross the track, and we're I think we were about 20 yards from the finish line, 30 maybe. And here you come around when we're watching the whole team run in with you onto the track, and you come running around the track. And the cool thing is, everybody stops and and it's your glory coming in, and we're yelling for you as you come by. And this is probably my, like, I have told a lot of people about this, but you're hitting people's hands, and we're yelling for you, and you don't cross the finish line. You have your Zimbabwe flag, and you turn around, and I'm standing right there. This is cool. I'm standing right there, and you hug your dad. Turn around and come back and hug your dad. And you don't. I mean, tell me. I want to know about how you feel about it, but like, I was just about in tears right then. Because it's like Emily has just ran 100 miles, and she is 20, 30 yards from the finish line. Actually, you were at about closer, but you turn around and come see your dad, and you give him a big hug. And I'm standing there going, that is cool. And what made you do that?
I think my whole life, like my parents have made everything possible. I went to boarding school at the age of 5 years old, and my favorite place to be on the weekends was home with my mom and dad. I've always been really close with them, and they've supported me in every way they can. When I came over here, and I was a musician. I played the violin and the piano and sang, and then I did every sport in the book, and they were always out supporting me, all the way through school and everything. And then when I got to become a professional athlete, like they've been excited to get out and support me at all my events and stuff. And to have my dad there that day was really special. My mom was running in with me and then with the whole crew, and then to run up and, give you a high five and then my dad a high five. And as you're running down the finish line, you've run 100 miles. So I don't know how much you're thinking at that point, but also
Yeah.
sometimes it takes a minute to, realize who you're giving a high five to. And running, doing that, like, got really excited to see you and then give my dad a high five and get really excited. And then, like, I was like, oh, perfect, I get to give him a hug, and like ran by him, obviously, like
Yeah.
gave him a high five, and then was like, oh, I want a hug. So I like turned around and got to give him a hug and then finished there. So like physically having my parents there is always amazing. And that was extra special that he was standing right at the finish line. I love that you got to soak that in and share it. Yeah, I think, good people, we say you always want to show them too that you appreciate them. And so that I got to kind of share the finish line with them, and with my dad, and appreciate that he was there and part of the magic of running 100 miles.
I'm telling you, that hit me, and that hit me hard. Just because it was so cool. I'm just saying, that was just amazing, and to see that. And I want other people to know that that was one of the coolest parts. But I've talked about Rucky Chucky earlier, and the people that were cheering you on. They invested in you from Rucky Chucky, and there is five, six of those people that we were on the bus with were there to cheer you on at the finish line too. They were waiting, and it was
Aw.
later, and they were waiting for you to get there. So I know that, but I will never. That'll be burned into my memories forever of you turning around and hugging your dad, and me being like, I'm right there. Yeah, and so I've never been in such an emotional place, like, I mean, to feel that kind of stuff. And that
Hmm.
was just amazing to me. And I am I feel lucky about that. But it was so fun. Like I said, I'm sitting there with your dad while we're waiting, and he said, "Oh, Rick, you could go do this and that." No, I'm enjoying sitting here. We're having a good conversation,
Yeah.
and and
Yeah.
and and, and the cool thing is, we're planning on you guys coming to South Dakota.
I know, yeah. He's been so excited about that for so long too. Like we've been planning. We're excited.
Yes.
It'll
So
be
we're
fun.
planning. You're running, and your mom's running with you, and your dad and I are planning a trip to South Dakota. Sorry, but
Perfect. It's a win-win situation.
It was. So, not at this time when it's -7 below, but we'll do it in July when it's a little bit warmer.
When it's warm, yeah, that's better for the Africans.
There you go. So, so, so that was just, like I said, that was and then you say you're a part of this, Rick, and to get in there with the crew to take that picture with you at the end. Thank you. I appreciate you including me. You don't have to. I was there to cheer you
You
on,
gave
but
me a banana. What are you saying? You like
a broken one at that.
you paid your dues.
I look forward to coming and doing this again.
Yeah.
Because I love, you just made me the biggest fan of Western states that I've known about it, but you don't know beings this far away. So the next day, I know I'm being long here, but the next day you you have the golden hour, and it's so fun to watch the athletes, that the elite athletes come and cheer on the people that are making it in the last hour of the race to finish. And you guys are really cheering hard, even though you're stiff and your feet are a little messed up. That is amazing too. That also says something about the athletes, that you know that you're there cheering on those people. So thank you. I mean, you guys showed me a lot of stuff there. So thank you so
Yeah.
much.
Yeah, I mean golden hour is the best time and kind of shows, the true heart of our sport. Running 100 miles isn't easy. And everyone from the first person across the finish line to the last person across the finish line like achieves a big feat when they get out there. So it's fun that, yeah, especially Western States, makes it possible to celebrate everybody the same and really just be there as a community, be there for each other, and be excited of completing a mission.
Yes. So it is cool. And then I got to go have the little go to the Adidas party at your house a little bit and meet a lot of the other athletes, and that was fun. But I know I'm talked about this, and I was giving you play by play of me, and I it's about your race, but I want to talk about your race now. The race that showed the toughness of Emily Hawgood was UTMB, and I'm watching from a distance now because I know how to just keep on. Where's Emily at on my phone? I'm watching this.
Hmm.
You besides knowing you there and knowing Paul and knowing your mom and dad are sending me pictures. I'm going, I wish I was at UTMB,
Yeah.
because of the cool pictures they're sending me. But to show the toughness of, there's other athletes that are not finishing because you were in a blizzard. You
Hmm.
were in all kinds of weather, from what I hear. From the start to finish, you were in all types of weather. And there is really no way to train for that, is there?
Nah, I mean, the weather's fine. We're trail runners. Put on an extra layer or two.
Because instead of being wet from trying to stay cool, you're probably wet from just the snow and the rain and the other crazy weather you had.
Yeah, for sure. Yep. Yeah. And for me, it was about, I'd kind of had my, yeah, from different things, from a massage and stuff. They released my diaphragm and it caused my muscles to like get aggravated and pulled my hips out of alignment. So for me, it was bigger the weather affected because I had already been digging in a hole for a few days before the race, like 10 days before the race. I'd been um, in quite a bit of pain. And so I'd already been digging a hole trying to get out of that and get to the start line. And so when I started running, when the weather is tough, if you're already digging a hole, you're digging it deeper with, harsher conditions out there, weather conditions specifically. And yeah, I definitely got to the point in the race. I was exactly 100K in when my body was like, nope, you can't run anymore. We're trying to keep you alive here, trying to keep you warm and fed and all the things. Running is just not possible. You can hike and you're not injured.
Mhm.
But if you want to keep going, this is how much we can do for you to keep you alive, but keep going.
Because I mean, the pictures coming out, your mom and she had that WhatsApp app about how you were doing.
Mhm.
And I'm watching that. I know what I from hanging out with Paul long enough that I've hung out with him. I know I can imagine what he's saying to you. I can imagine. I wanted to, I didn't want to bother you after because I know this stuff, but to that made me see Emily Hawgood had the heart of a champion in the fact that you did not quit. You kept moving forward. I mean, like I said, you you inspired not only me but other people that are watching you because you just kept on going.
Yeah, I think I've learned that from my parents too. If you sign up for something, you do everything you can to get to that finish line. And we have a saying back in Zimbabwe, like, we'll make a plan. And that's kind of what I ended up doing the whole race. And again, it was really special. My parents were there. So I got
Yeah.
to put it into action with them right by my side, which was amazing. And Paul, we had longer time at the aid stations, a lot longer at the aid stations, and a lot more time to talk and, make smart coaching and racing decisions, season planning decisions. Every aid station, we were checking in with each other, making sure we weren't doing anything dumb, not getting any injuries, those sort of things. Eating full meals, because at that if you're moving that slowly, you
Yeah.
can eat a whole meal and be totally fine. So I was eating, bangers and mash out on course. But yeah, I mean, as much as, yeah, it was such a big moment in my career too, to kind of have all the cards laid out on the table, and to see maybe when everyone says like they run and do things like that to push their limits or see what they can do. That was really cool for me to see what I decided to do when everything wasn't going my way and things were really hard. And I think I was really excited at the end. It was a huge success for me because I really had, I think you have dreams and goals of how you will respond in a situation like that. And that's what I did when I didn't have anything in me, and when the easier choice was for sure to DNF and call it a day. And no one would have looked down on me for doing that. But I was really excited to be able to stick it out and stay in it and make it happen, get to the finish line. And I mean, you're in a magical place. Like, I was running, in France and Italy and Switzerland, and I was meeting amazing people. I had 500 people go by me. I had 500 conversations,
Yeah.
and they were all special, and some people were having the day of their lives out there. Some people were having really tough days like I was. People were just excited to be out there and still be moving forward. And like I said, after Western States, we were all trying to achieve the same goal of completing 100 miles. And that's what we were doing, one step at a time. And we got to support each other and do that together, which was really amazing.
Yeah, and like I said, and I kept on waiting to watch you cross the finish line just because it was one of those things that I just kept on watching and waiting because I knew you were going to do it. And like I said, you've taught me, so in this year, and it's funny because you're half my age, but you've taught me a lot. You taught me about the heart of a lion that you have, and you taught me about, because I never knew, like the endurance when I was at Western States, watching how you're taking gels or doing this to every half hour or whatever you were doing, but I was learning how to, if I do an endurance thing, how I need to fuel too. So and then you've taught me like the strength of family, like that is watching your mom and dad, watching your crew, watching everybody that is cheering Emily Hawgood on. The extended family is just amazing besides just your close family, you know what I mean? It's the extended family for Emily Hawgood is it's just huge. So
Yeah. I'm very grateful for a lot of really good people in my life, for sure. And a lot of people feel like family to me, which is special. It makes you feel at home wherever you go in the world.
yeah, it should because you do. But now, I mean, I wanted to do that, and but then you went to Zimbabwe for Christmas,
Hmm.
and you were sending pictures of elephants and other thing, fishing and having a good time. So that was good. Uh, how was Christmas at home?
Yeah, it was amazing. I mean, I love going home for Christmas. I escaped the cold in the US for a little bit. It was a rainy year back home, but that is fine. It's really warm, so it was nice. And we get to go on the houseboat over there and on the big Lake Kariba, and see all the animals out there. Like, one of our favorite places growing up. So it's always nice to go back and feel right at home, see the animals, see friends and family, and mostly just spend time with my mom and dad. Like, I love just doing life with them for 3 weeks of the year and at home. Yeah, so it was really, really special. So nice around Christmas time to be with family. I don't think there's anything that replaces that.
No, it doesn't, because it's interesting. I mean, when I go home to see well, my mom's not here anymore, but when I go back to see my dad, it's usually, I just go back to see my mom and dad because that's what
Yeah,
it's about to me. It's not about
yeah,
going to see anybody else. It was about just enjoying the time because there is no rewind in life, and if you
yeah.
don't get to do it, you should. You know what I mean? And that's where it goes. Because
Hmm.
yeah, no, and then will you be going to? I mean, I see you went to. Did you go to Germany before then? Correct? Did you train a little bit?
Before, no, I went before doing some. I went to the Adidas headquarters and did some shoe testing, and they have some really cool ways to. I had some issues with my feet, so we did some like feet scans and things like that to hopefully, make things better for this year. They always say the best for the athlete, and it's true. Like flying me out there to be one on one with the team and really dive into things that could make the journey better too. So you're pouring in all the training effort and they're pouring in everything they can from their side support wise.
Well, yeah, I just seen the post of you I think I thought you were at Adidas headquarters. Maybe that was a
Yep.
while, but anyway, that's
I was,
cool.
yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
That one.
So, and here's the other deal. I'm excited to have you guys here, and I'm excited to show you the Black Hills and other places here that I love. So I
We can't
cannot wait to
wait.
have your mom and dad here and you here, and we'll go look at things. You guys just need to tell me what you want to see here in South Dakota, because I live in the prettiest part of South Dakota, so that's one good thing
Perfect.
here. You
Yeah,
know,
yeah, cool.
maybe Paul will come some other day. We'll never know. I've tried to. Oh, there's that. I forgot
We'll
about that
recruit him.
too. Yeah. And I have to tell you folks out there, this is funny because Emily and I were texting back and forth, and I was antelope hunting and she was being a guide, and I've just I'm besides her being a runner, I'm going to have to recruit her to be my guide because she is very successful at what she does in everything, I think. Because her guiding the antelope was way bigger than the one I got.
That's just luck. That was a pure determination to show Paul that I could be a good hunting guide.
so, so that's because I thought with all your determination and everything you've done, my gosh, I need to be with Emily because we're going to win somehow or another. And now our favorite seasons are coming up in here in a little bit, so we'll have a who finds the biggest antler kind of contest or the smallest. That's some of
Deal.
the fun one
Deal.
too.
Well, Paul already wins the first antler of the year, so.
Well, he's a cheater because he has time to go do this stuff.
Yeah. Hey, we don't work with excuses here.
No, okay. Well, here's the deal. I make them up before I even start things. You know what I mean?
Okay,
So I'm prepared.
okay, okay.
There's a reason I miss. I always have an excuse. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah. That's funny.
So no, I really, really. First of all, I look forward to coming out to Western States again. I hope that's cool with you.
Yep, you're in.
And I really look forward to you guys coming and staying at the house and getting to enjoy the Black Hills of South Dakota.
We can't wait. I can't wait for it all, Rick. And yeah, hopefully some more time. Thank you so much for being my 2 a.m. person and yeah, for all your love and support and being part of my family. I mean, I don't know if I was more excited for you to meet Paul in person or meet my dad. I'm pretty sure it was my dad. I knew you guys would connect so
Ye-
well and was so excited to have you out there. So very excited for more time with you and more time with all of us together.
exactly, because And thank you so much because
Thank you. Mhm.
thank you for being my friend. That's the best part. And
Mhm.
family,
Mhm.
so I just, you are the best. And I hope your upcoming races, I'm going to be watching you
Thank you.
and cheering
Mhm.
you on. You know that from the distance. And if you need anything ever, we're there.
Thank you. And right back at you.
Thank you, Emily. So, do you, before I let you go, you have, I ask you what's the good life. Maybe I'll ask you what's a good life this year?
Hmm. I never have my answers prepared, Rick, so
I never have the question prepared either.
yeah, yeah. Um, yeah, the good life is really seeing the good in every person around us, taking the time to do the little things that add up to the big things, like saying hello and um making I think I love this view of life of like the whole purpose of life is to walk beside people and help us all get to the finish line like in the most happiest way, if that makes sense. And yeah, just like make life good.
Yep, I love that, Emily. And like I said, I'm sorry in the beginning of this, people that are listening, that I took over the but I wanted to give you what I saw from my perspective. Like, you're racing, but I don't think
Thank you.
people really tell you what happens behind the scenes. Like, I
Yeah,
mean,
it was great having you there. Take it in.
because it's fun to take in. It was just like I said, I was
Mhm.
inhaling it. So thank you so much. And like I said, thank you for being there for me. And like I said, whatever you need, let me know. And tell Paul hello. And let's, I like you have fans from a distance. Just always remember that.
Thank you, Rick. I appreciate you.
I appreciate you too. So don't die, Rusty Nation. Keep chasing your dreams, being the best you, and live your best life. And of course, don't die rusty. I want to thank you for listening to this episode of the Don't Die Rusty podcast. And if you would be so kind to give us a review, a like, a share, and a subscribe, that'd be wonderful. And I would greatly appreciate it. And if you would like to follow us on Facebook, we're at Don't Die Rusty. If you'd like to follow us on Instagram, it's at Don't Die Rusty. And if you would like to get in contact with me, it's rick at don'tdierusty.com. And I just want to say I appreciate everybody listening. And as usual, keep chasing your dreams, being the best you, and don't die rusty.